Hello and welcome to What is Tabletop Plays Dungeons & Dragons 5th Edition. Today we are going to be doing character creation with
Charles.
That's right, we're going to be doing character creation in 5th Edition Dungeons & Dragons. If you've never played this game before, we're going to show you how to create a character. And then we're going to have a one-shot later this week where you can watch Charles's character possibly die.
Sounds like a blast.
Yeah, he's probably used to it at this point. I've ruined him enough. I've ruined his spirit enough that he is used to death.
Something I realize, about being you and I are both also aspiring writers. I like making characters.
For sure.
I don't want to do it too often, not for role-playing purposes, but I like creating different people and different complexities and stuff. So yeah.
So we're going to be going over how to create it. All you'll need is the player's handbook. We're not going to be doing any of the supplemental material. We're just going to be doing everything from the player's handbook. And I'm going to walk you through how to do it. All right. You ready, Charles?
Yes.
All right. Let's do it. First up, as all things are, you're going to have to get a character sheet. You can find those easily online. First thing you're going to want to do is figure out the race you want your character to be. So there are many different race options in Dungeons & Dragons. I'm just going to go over them very quickly. We have dwarf. We have elf. Halfling. So a lot of your very stereotypical races. We got your humans. We got your ogres. We got ogres. I mean orcs. Don't talk to me. I don't know what I'm saying.
Get out of my swamp.
We do have some interesting things, right? So there's gnomes. There are dragonborn. So these are half dragon people. You can be a half elf specifically if you really want to. A tiefling, which is kind of like a little devil person if you're interested in that. Each of these races is going to come with different stats, different abilities, stuff like that. For the sake of making things simple, we're just going to choose one of these main ones. So, Charles, what are you wanting to play today?
I think I'll go with Dragonborn.
So you're going to be a Dragonborn. Go ahead and put that on your character sheet.
I did.
Nice. What I like to do when character creating in 5th Edition Dungeons & Dragons, I do like to start with what are you wanting to play race-wise? What are you wanting to play class-wise? So we've decided on Dragonborn. Charles, what class are you wanting to play today?
I think I'm looking to play a sorcerer.
Ooh, a little bit of magic dealio.
Magic.
Charles is going to play a sorcerer, Dragonborn. So we're going to write that down on his character sheet in the class and race sections as he goes along. Next, what we're going to do is generate the stats. There's many different ways to do it. There's a standard array of just various numbers. You can do a point-by system, but we're going to do what is the most fun way, rolling of the clickety-clacks. So we're going to do that very quickly. So what we're doing here is we're rolling 4d6 and taking away the lowest result and adding the rest together. So what is that, Charles?
14.
14. All right. We're going to do that a total of 6 more times. Don't worry. Thanks to the power of editing, you won't see all 6 of those times. 13.
12. Oof. That's a 10. So that's 15. 13.
So that's not too bad. Everything except the 10 is going to be a positive modifier.
Yep.
So
10's a 0 though, right?
Yep, that's a 0. Nice. But still, that's not too bad.
Not negative.
So now what we're going to do, or at least what I like to do, we're going to go over to the race and we're going to add his modifiers.
Yeah.
So as a Dragonborn, you're going to get a +2 to strength and a +1 to charisma. Now, we can do the optional rolls if you wish, Charles, where you can add a +2 to anything and a +1 to anything else. I say for the sake of this one shot, let's go ahead and do that. So you're going to add a +2 anywhere you want and a +1 anywhere you want. So now that you have those, where are you starting to think you're going to put your stats?
So I'm going to want my highest stat since I'm going to be a sorcerer. Yeah. So I'm going to take my 17, my 15 +2, my 17, and put that into my charisma.
The reason I like to do class and race first in character creation is because once you now know what the important stats are, for example, sorcerer, it's going to probably go charisma, dexterity, constitution, and then the remaining ones can be in whatever order you want. Yep. That helps to determine which stats get the highest result, which is part of the fun.
Yeah, absolutely. So I have 2 14, so my dex and my con will both be 14.
This is where part of the fun comes in on character creation. Where are you going to put the rest of those stats?
So 10, 12, and 13. So I think I'm going to put my 10 in strength.
Okay. So he's an average strength guy.
So
yeah.
Yeah, and so that's what we call our dump stat, if you will. Your lowest number is going to be something that I don't plan on using a whole lot of. And there might be times where I'm going to want to use my strength. It'll just be much more challenging.
Right.
I won't have any added benefits to it. I'm going to do my intelligence 13 and my wisdom 12.
So strength is, how strong you are. Dexterity is how nimble you are. Constitution, how well you can take a hit. Intelligence is going to be how smart, like book smart you are. Wisdom is more like street smarts, like understanding people. And then charisma is being really charming and persuasive.
Like me.
Like Charles. So Charles, surprisingly, is playing a persuasive person. Your race doesn't just give you stats. It also gives you a bunch of other abilities. For the sake of things, we're only going to write down what's prevalent. So, Charles, what kind of a Dragonborn are you going to want to be?
Green.
Green. All right. So because you're green, that means you're going to get resistance to acid damage. So that's fun.
Resistance to acid damage.
Yeah. And then you're also going to get a breath weapon that is an acid breath weapon as well. That's going to be a 2d6 damage. And that's going to be based off of, your DC is going to be based off your Constitution modifier. So when we're determining a DC, we're going to determine the relevant stat, in this case, a Constitution. What is the modifier for your Constitution?
I have 14, so that's a
+2.
Yep.
So it's a +2. You're then going to add 8 and your proficiency bonus. In this case, your proficiency is a +2 as well. So adding those stats together, breath weapon DC is going to be 12. So you can put DC 12. And then Common and Draconic as your languages. So sorcerers get a D6 hit die. The way hit dice or hit points work in Dungeons and Dragons is dependent on your class, determines the size of your dice that you roll for health. Whenever you take the first level, in this case, Charles has a D6. He's going to take the maximum value plus his Constitution modifier.
So it's like I said, so it's 6 + 2, so it's gonna be 8.
Yep. So his starting hit points at level 1 are 8.
8 hit points, not very much.
Yeah, that's okay. Well, we'll hopefully get those up a little bit. Spoilers, but
Spoilers.
He's also going to have saving throws in Constitution and Charisma. And he's going to choose 2 skills from the following list: Arcana, Deception, Insight, Intimidation, Persuasion, and Religion. So which of those seems most interesting for your character to have?
I like Deception.
All right.
Deception. Let's go with Arcana.
So now, normally, what you'll do next is you'll also determine your background. But for the sake of this, we're just going to have Charles to choose 2 skills that he's proficient in. So what other 2 skills would you like proficiency in?
I'm going to go with Persuasion. Let me do Perception.
Okay. So what's nice is each of these skills has a little blurb located in the player's handbook if you're interested on what each of these does. But for now, Charles has chosen Deception. He can lie to people really well. He's chosen Arcana. He can understand magic. Persuasion. He can convince people. And Perception. He can see things very far. Now, AC. Unfortunately, Charles,
super weak.
As a sorcerer, you do not get any armor proficiencies, meaning you cannot wear any armor.
10.
And cast, So it's going to be 10 plus your dexterity modifier right now.
12.
Yep, so that is your starting AC. You're also going to notice the initiative next to that. That's going to be equal to your dexterity.
+2.
Speed is also determined based off of your race. In this case, it's going to be 30 feet of movement. That's how much you can move in a single round. Next, we're going to look at the sorcerer's first level abilities. You get spell casting and you get to choose your subclass right out of the gate. Isn't that fun, Charles?
That is super fun.
All right. So very quickly, you're going to get some cantrips and spell slots for the sake of speed. We're going to probably have him do that off screen, and we'll just tell you what spells he chooses from that, especially considering we're not going to be starting at level 1. Ooh. We'll get into that though. So let's skip to your Sorcerer's Origin. In the base book, you have 2 different options. You have Draconic Bloodline, which could work as a Dragonborn, and Wild Magic. The big difference between the two, Draconic Bloodline means your character has gotten their power from an ancient dragon of some kind, somehow in their blood. Whether that means an ancestor of yours was a dragon, maybe they interacted with a dragon long enough that it's changed their physiology, but somehow you have gained the powers of a dragon. Conversely, Wild Magic is somewhere in your bloodline. Your ancestors, or even your character, got messed up with by magic, and now it's so uncontrollable in themselves, they just can't control it anymore, and random things happen. So what are you thinking about, Charles?
Draconic thematically would work really well, but I'm going to go with Wild Magic.
That means you're going to get the Wild Magic Surge. Whenever you cast a spell of first level or higher, you're going to roll a d20. If it is a 1, a magic effect happens.
All right.
You also have Tides of Chaos. You can manipulate things in your favor to gain advantage on one attack roll, ability check, or saving throw.
All right.
But that would be it for a first level character. You would have all of those items. We would start writing in all of these stats as is. And of course, you also get starting equipment, stuff like that. For the sake of this, we'll just have you start with whatever we decide to have you start with.
Sounds good.
However, we're not done. Let's go ahead and go to level 2. Why don't we?
Okay.
Yeah, Charles, you leveled up.
Ba-da-da-da-da-da.
All right. First thing we like to do with leveling up is roll for hit points. So in this case, Charles does not get the max one. He has to roll a d6. So let's see what he gets. He's going to add his constitution.
So 4.
All right. So he gets a total of 6 additional hit points to his.
So 8 plus 6.
Yep. He has 14 hit points. That's okay. That's not too bad. We're also going to look at second level, and he's going to get a thing called Font of Magic. That means he has sorcery points. Sorcery points are going to be equal to your sorcerer class level, so you have 2 of them, and you get to do fun meta magic abilities. You will eventually get to do meta magic abilities. That doesn't come till 3rd level.
Ooh.
But additionally, you get another first level spell that you'll get to know, and another first level spell slot as well. So that's fun.
Yay.
How do you feel about second level?
Second level sounds pretty good.
Yeah, some fun stuff, not too many things. But I think we really want to go do that meta magic, don't we?
We do want to do that.
That's right. We're going to 3rd level, baby.
Woo-hoo.
Yep. So very quickly, we're already rising up the ranks to 3rd level. Let's roll that hit point one more time.
Oh,
It's a dreaded one. All right.
That's okay. That puts it up to 17.
17 hit points at level 3. All right. You'll also get increased spells, which we'll go over, but you also get access to meta magic. So your sorcery points go up by 1.
Yes, I got 3.
Mm-hmm. And you will get the following option. You get to choose 2 of the meta magic spells to choose from. So what are we thinking?
I think I want twin.
Twin is interesting, and probably also quickened.
Quicken, yep.
Yeah. So he has chosen Twin and Quickened as his meta magic abilities. That's going to be it for your leveling up. So let's go ahead and pick your spells. So at 3rd level, you're going to have 4 cantrips. You're going to have 4 spells known. So that means you're going to know between 1st and 2nd level 4 different spells. And you're going to be able to cast 4 1st level spells, 2 2nd level spells.
Perfect.
All right, Charles, you have chosen your spells. So let's go over which spells you have chosen.
All right. So for my 4 cantrips, I picked Firebolt,
Mm-hmm.
Friends, Shocking Grasp, and Mage Hand.
Nice.
For my level 1, I chose 3 spells. I have Detect Magic, Mage Armor, and everybody's favorite, Magic Missile. And for my final spell, for my level 2, I chose Scorching Ray.
That's a good spread right there. Now, you'll notice on the spellcasting sheet, you're going to have 3 different boxes at the top. One's going to be your spellcasting ability score. Since he is a sorcerer, he's going to write down Charisma. He's also got the modifier in case he casts a spell that requires him to make an attack roll. That's going to be his spellcasting ability score of Charisma plus his proficiency bonus.
Because my spellcasting ability is Charisma, that is at a 17, which gives me a modifier of a +3, and then I add my proficiency bonus, which is a +2, gives me a total of +5.
We're doing your spellcasting DC, so we're going to add basically the spells we just chose.
Mm-hmm.
That +5, we're going to add 8 to it, which gives you a DC of
13.
Yep.
Right? Yep.
So that is your spell save DC. When you make a spell that causes someone to have to make a save, that's what's going to have to...
They have to roll a 13 or higher.
Yep, exactly. So for the sake of it, we've gone over this in our character creation thing. We can either roll it for fun, or you can come up with your bonds, flaws, ideals, and traits.
You know what? For fun,
Yeah.
let's roll.
All right. So you're going to notice in the back of the book, towards the back, around page 127, is backgrounds. So for the sake of it, really quickly, you have an idea of what background you want. You want to be a charlatan, entertainer,
Ooh.
folk hero.
I think Hermit would be kind of funny, actually.
All right. Go ahead and roll a d8 for personality trait.
That is a 1.
I've been isolated for so long that I rarely speak, preferring gestures and the occasional grunt, which is going to be fascinating for a very talkative sorcerer. But hey, we'll make it work.
All right. So isolated
Isolated and grunts.
and grunts.
All right. Next ideal, roll that.
4.
All right. Your ideal is power. Solitude and contemplation are paths towards mystical or magical power. Let's roll for bonds, also a d6.
6.
All right. This one is my isolation gave me great insight into a great evil. All right. And then finally we have flaw. Go ahead and roll for flaw.
3.
I am dogmatic in my thoughts and philosophy. Yeah. So having rolled those, do you have an idea of what your character Like how your character's going to act? Like maybe their backstory a little bit. What are you thinking?
Well, like I said, very interesting because of the hermit background of being isolated and grunting. And so I'm going to do my best to communicate in as few words as possible, but using like almost a charm to it, almost like an awkward charm.
Do we have any like? Does this bring forward any background, like any backstory things? Maybe like why they went into the into seclusion.
Seclusion. So I'm thinking the reason they went into seclusion was maybe because they heard of this great evil, and they needed to be away, like lose personal connection from everyone else. So they wanted to be by themselves to maybe protect those around them. So like wanted to like I can't have a circle of friends or I can't have family around because it's too dangerous for me to be around them because I know of this great evil and there's a possibility this great evil knows about me.
Interesting. And so your character started to study magic, but now they still can't control it fully.
Correct.
With the wild magic that goes on, but yet they seek more of it.
Yes.
Yeah, which is fascinating. Yeah, I think we can make this work for sure.
This will be fun.
Yeah, you're going to be a weird hermit who doesn't talk too much, but is somehow very charming.
Love it.
I like it. Yeah. And he just seeks this ancient evil to destroy. Yeah. What could that be? Perhaps we'll find out on the One Shot. Tune in to our next podcast episode where you can find the adventures of Charles. I just realized we forgot the most important thing. What is the name of your character?
Name of my character. That's an excellent thing. When naming a character, I either like to go very serious or very silly. So just for future reference, whenever we do have these one-shots in the comments and stuff like that, and we'll be doing polls, you guys can help me name my character, choose the characters I'll be playing as. But for this one, I'm going to name him Theodore.
Theodore?
Theodore.
All right. Yeah, no last name. Theodore. I like it.
So yeah, just Theodore.
All right. Well, tune into the next episode of our podcast where we are going to watch the adventures of Theodore, the Dragonborn sorcerer. Will he defeat the great evil, or will he succumb to the magic that holds him?
Yeah.
We'll see you guys then. Stay witty.
Stay witty.
I don't know if you will, though.
No.